All right. Well, welcome back to the show. And again, you just heard me interview the former CEO of Amgen, a $16 billion company in the world's largest biotech field. So again, continue to stay tuned because the show it's just unbelievable. And the feedback we get is phenomenal. So I really appreciate it because we still get feedback when I interviewed the CEO of Taylor Morrison Homes. So you know where to go. It's Eliances.com, Eliances.com. Why? Well, quite honestly, it is the only place where entrepreneurs align. And I'm excited about our next interview. He's a friend of mine. He's part of Eliances. He is the founder and CEO of End-to-End Results. And you could reach him by going to E2E results.com. And of course, again, we'll have it on our website at Eliances.com. So Dave, boy, you know what? You hit a home run with what you're doing now too, again. And it's just, I hear great feedback from others in the community about it. Tell us though about the E2E results.com.
End-to-end results. There was a point, I don't remember if you knew I was doing SEO or if you remember me from my real estate days, but the system that I built to drive traffic for the real estate syndication was something that I dusted off in late 2019, pre-COVID, to rebrand myself from SEO to a lead generation firm. And the results have been absolutely spectacular. Being able to go out and specifically target and engage and drive traffic through psychological and neurological messaging has created an amazing traffic source for the clients that have engaged me so far.
And is the primary part that you're helping clients with, is it utilizing LinkedIn?
LinkedIn is a primary driver. Most of my clients are in the relationship space. This goes hand in hand with Alliances all day long, because at Alliances, we are all there to align and build relationships. So what does it take to make that connection and build a relationship for a higher dollar sale? The lowest dollar sales that I typically work with are, $1,000 a piece, and lifetime value has got to be at least $5,000. So I'm working with, like legal services and consultants and financial advisors, and taking on different sides of each project, because those fields specifically need to build a quality relationship with their clients. And building that quality relationship is the end result of the traffic and conversion system that we call the funnel halo.
And again, we're talking with Dave Grimm. You can reach him at E2E results.com. But Dave, what about those that just say, you know what, I'll just hop on LinkedIn, start connecting with everyone, and send a message, try to set up a call or whatever it may be. How does your services differentiate from those that are just like, I'll click away? Because I get a gazillion messages coming into my inbox of people trying to connect, and just what do you say to that?
And you just hit the nail on the head. You get a gazillion messages. How many of the gazillion do you actually respond to? How many of the gazillion actually fit in that little micro window at the bottom of your screen so that you can read them in 6 to 8 seconds or less? So engagement messaging is a core component of what we do. It ties specifically to our client persona system. We called it avatars, but since then the word avatars come to mean the little tiny icons. But the client personas that we build are specifically very deep for what we're going after. So we will find the nuanced language in your industry. We will find the nuanced language in your target market. We will define your perfect client to the point where you feel like the avatar that we deliver is your new best friend. And then we start messaging. That's the difference.
Do you find it challenging for companies, individuals, small businesses to actually find or define who their ideal client is? I mean, it seems like we're all racing to this, whatever, there's really no finish line, so to speak, that a lot of times we don't know.
Absolutely, yes. And clarity is a huge component of what we deliver for people. Legal services, for example. Actually, let me go with financial services, for example. My first financial services client, when I asked him who his client was, he was like, oh, anybody over 50 that makes six figures that has money. And after a series of interviewing his top 5 clients, we discovered that his perfect client is a female decision maker, typically former C-level or current C-level, works in their own business. 80% of them were self-employed as a second career. And the big trigger that really kicked off, what mattered was that they had just become empty nesters. And in our interview process and database analysis process, we pull those little details out so that our clients are able to really hone in on bullseye targeting and messaging that resonates with the client. We call it perceived customization.
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal, phenomenal. And I love how you're helping so many people, to help them get business, define their who their target is. And just it's incredible. And you're listening and watching me, David Kogan, host of the Eliances Hero Show. So make sure you go to the only place, right, Dave? The only place
where entrepreneurs align
at Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. Because as a matter of fact, you may have a lifetime opportunity to meet and see Dave at one of our many experiences, our roundtables, virtual and in person, secret sessions, and so much more, because Dave is part of the community. He's been part of the community for years, made a number of connections. In fact, Dave, can you just briefly tell some in our audience what Eliances has meant for you?
Oh, our interview is not that long, David. Short version, I found Eliances when I was running the production division of a real estate syndication firm. I found resources, partners, marketing partners, and feedback of every sort. And more recently, I have found my significant other.
You know what? That's the whole package. I mean, right? You just that's phenomenal. Congratulations too on that. That's absolutely fantastic. And again, I know you and I have worked together for years, and it's been great. And we're proud to have you, part of the community. I know you're working with a number of members too, so that's fabulous. Talk to us. How do you see things evolving with LinkedIn? It seems like they're always making enhancements, improvements, taking away things different. How do you stay on top of that, and where do you see things going?
Well, I'm fortunate to be a member of a number of developer groups that keep their pulse on LinkedIn changes. I'm also fortunate enough to have forged partnerships outside of those groups that have brought forth different security measures and an understanding of what's possible and what's not possible on LinkedIn. And in conjunction with that, when I find a good one, I just blend it into the existing traffic and conversion system. So where it's going as far as LinkedIn, we're a year into COVID now. And, back around the beginning of COVID, everybody and their brother was hanging out a shingle going, I do LinkedIn, I do LinkedIn, I do LinkedIn. And, the quality ones are quickly being separated from the ones that are, grabbing an automation system, throwing something up and hoping that it works. So having a system that identifies who your perfect target is allows you the clarity to go after them. Having a system that manages everything safely with humans so that humans are specifically involved in the process is crucial to success. Having a system that grows and is scalable with your ebbs and flows of your company is part of that. So where is LinkedIn headed? LinkedIn's headed bigger than ever, but the people that are competent with LinkedIn are, the old 80-20 rule still applies. It's absolutely that way. So, are you targeting comes down to the right information, and are you following the modern rules of digital engagement? Since COVID, those rules have changed. Everyone is getting barraged on LinkedIn, like you said. How do you set yourself apart? And those are questions that we answer before we launch any campaign.
And if someone is, hiring you for their services, they don't necessarily need to know how to be an expert at LinkedIn. That's why they're hiring and having you help guide them, right? They don't,
right?
Because there's a lot of, there's so many different functions with LinkedIn, that it's quite a handful.
It is quite a handful, and done properly, even our systems done properly require a human to be on the LinkedIn for half an hour to an hour a day minimum. And that's for an average volume campaign. So if my client hiring me can't handle that, we have a team which we've affectionately dubbed the human conversion specialist team that sits there and does the engagement and builds out where the direction is going and builds out response messages that move things forward and provides our clients an opportunity to not miss those crucial opportunities. And that's what a lot of people miss. They'll fire off an engagement system or they'll follow off messages, but the follow-up to that being a very specific path and a very specific client trajectory is crucial to the conversion process.
And do you find is there a specific industry that you've seen that does better on LinkedIn? Is there a specific target customer that you have? Because we have people from all industries that are listening now, and they're trying to think right now. I can tell you, is the services that Dave have good for my industry? If it's maybe in the medical industry, industrial industry, and so on.
The thing that we've discovered is it's important to have. So if you want to sell a product per se, Amazon's really the place to go. You want to go buy a product, a watch or something like that. Chances are, everyone's going to go to Amazon for it. LinkedIn is for building relationships. Our team either takes you into a conversion process or gets your prospect to the 1 yard line when they're ready to talk to you so that you are able to score with that revenue. Now, where is that? Who is that perfect client? So far, we found it in several different verticals. And the only common denominator right now is that we're working in fintech, we're working in legal, we're working consultants, we're working with national companies that are growing rapidly. So there's a ton that's out there. But the bottom line is, do you need a relationship to facilitate a sale? Do you need high traffic or high targeting to facilitate a sale? And where is your best client? And if your best client is part of the 3%ers in the United States, you'd better be on LinkedIn. And if your best client, and if your product sells for more than $1,000, or you have more than a $5,000 lifetime value for your clients, you better be on LinkedIn. And you'd better have a system to make it work, because it can backfire on you just as easily as it can work.
Wow. Well, Dave, you help businesses maximize their results while keeping costs reasonable. You help them, guide them through being able to acquire customers and leads. That's a hero. Dave Grimm, founder of End-to-End Results, and you can reach him at E2E results.com. This has been David Kogan with the Eliances Hero Show, and when we return, we have the CFO of Herbalife Nutrition, $4.5 billion company.